Let's talk about the easiest way to double your yields. Today's video is going to show you how to use a simple 2-room setup to start harvesting every month. No magic, just smart timing here. Let's get into it, but before we do, today's video is brought to you by Real Grow Lab. If you want to connect with the best growers from all over the world, get tips and tricks on how to grow the dankest plants possible, and not have to worry about the censorship we get from YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, go check out realgrowlab.com. Get all kinds of great Grow Talk Q&A, plus see all the stuff YouTube won't let me show you in these videos. Sign up and join our growing community over at realgrowlab.com. Or download the app at the Apple or Android App Store. Now let's get back to today's video. Come on, Hi C, we've been talking about this one for a bit.
Okay, so I've seen you do this, and you say double your yields, but I watched your harvest, and you only pulled out half of your harvest. So
half a room at a time, yeah.
Yeah, how am I doubling my yields if you're only pulling out half a harvest?
Okay, well, if I pull half a harvest every month, okay? So that's 12 harvests of half. That's 6 entire harvests a year, correct?
Right. Whereas when I'm growing, I'm only able to harvest every 4 months.
Yeah, let's think about it. That's 3 harvests a year. You like my math?
So you're getting 6 harvests while I'm getting 3 harvests.
Yes, yes.
And let's explain why. The way that I do it, I've got one grow space.
Yes. So
I have to
clones, 2 weeks for clones, 2 weeks for solo cups. There's 1 month, month of veg, and
I
there's
flip my lights.
and then 2 months of flower. There's your 4 months right there, right?
Yeah, so I get 3 harvests per year.
Yep. So by the way, there's no free lunch. What we're going to talk about is adding another grow space, and this is called perpetual harvesting. What you do is you add a veg space. So your one tent will always be blooming. So every, what's a 60-day bloom cycle? I like to stagger mine. So every month I'll put some plants in once a month, and then I pull plants out once a month. So I've always got freshies going.
So you've got one grow space dedicated for veg. It's always vegging
Yep.
plants in there.
Yep.
And then you've got another grow space dedicated to bloom.
Yes.
And you're kind of staging. It's not like you let all your plants veg at the same time and then all your plants bloom.
It's 100% staging. Absolutely.
So let's talk about how do you get to where you're able to pull one harvest or one half harvest out every single month?
Twice as many. Yes. What I do is I add a separate veg area. So remember we were talking about the 2 weeks in the clone dome, 2 weeks in the solo cup, 4 weeks in veg. Mm-hmm. All that is we're not getting rid of that. We're just putting that in a separate space, which means in our main tent, we can continue to flower. We can spend all that energy in that main tent flowering.
But you don't fill up your veg all the way at once. You do half of your veg and then you let it go that month.
Yeah.
And then you fill up the other half.
It's easy enough for me to just stagger the clones, whether I take some clones from clones in that veg.
Or you get some clones from a friend.
Yeah. But it is easy to stagger them. What I'll do, say I'm thinking of a 4x4 grow tent, and then that would be my flowering tent. And then I'll do something half as big for my veg. So I'll have a 2x4 veg tent. So the idea is everything with the cloning, with the solo cups, with the growing these big veg plants, that happens in the veg tent. And then this 4x4 flower tent, every month, I've got 2 decent sized plants out of that 2x4, nice sized plants that are ready to flower. Every month, I am going over to that flowering tent. There's no room in there, but there's 2 plants that are ready to harvest. Every month, there's 2 plants ready to harvest. I pull them from the flower tent, and I put my veg plants in there. If I stagger that to where I'm doing that once a month, I'm pulling 2 plants out each month, and I'm putting 2 veggers in there.
Okay, so let's talk about the starting of this process, starting from zero. How do you plan this staging process out?
All right, so let's talk about it, right? We get our clones. We're going to grow our clones a couple weeks. We're going to grow our solo cups a couple weeks. Then we're going to take them in that veg tent, and we're going to grow them into some nice plants. Say it takes a month. Right?
So those plants that you set up to veg, by the time the new plants are done with their cloning and they're ready to go in veg, those veg plants are then ready to go into the bloom tint.
Yes, everything is just in time. You've got your clones that are ready just in time, your solo cups, your veg, and then as soon as that flower stops, as soon as bloom stops, you've got veg plants ready to go in there.
And then when I've seen you do this, right before you move the plants that are at the end of their veg, That's when you take new cuts to start cloning again.
Yep. I'm constantly, you've always got to be manicuring these things, trimming them, shaping them. So that it gives me tons of opportunity to take new clones for the next cycle.
So every month you've got clones that are starting. You've got plants that are starting their month of veg. You've got plants that are done with their month of veg that are ready to start their first month of bloom. And then when you bring new plants into bloom, you move those to their second month of bloom. So every single month you've got like 4 different stages, and every month you've got new harvest.
Dude, you make it sound hard. It is so easy. You keep a clone dome going. You keep a few plants in solo cups. Your best ones, you're always vegging. The stragglers you can hold on, or you can just make new clones. And you've just got, we're going to say just for our 2x4 tent, you got 2 plants, and every month you are changing those plants and going in and changing them from veg to bloom. The veg tent to the bloom tent, and you're harvesting 2 plants from the bloom tent. Every month you do that, you're harvesting every month. That's 12 harvests a year, 12 half harvests a year. It equates to 6 harvests a year.
So yeah, my 3 harvests a year doing it the way that I do it versus your 6 harvests a year doing it the way that you're doing it.
It's the double, brother. Hey, before we get out of here, I do want to give a shout out to AC Infinity. These folks have made a tent that is a 2-in-1. So it has a flower area and a veg area all in one tent. A very smart setup there. So I like the equipment they make, and I'll shout out to them. Good people over there.
I like that because I've only got room for 1 grow tent. But they make it to where I can do this without having to buy a whole new grow tent.
Yeah, I think they have a 5x4 or something that just has a big enough veg that you can put a clone chamber in. You can put some solo cups. You can put a couple 3 gallons or real buckets in there. So very smart design over there. So I'll give them kudos and a thumbs up. Hey, but those are just my thoughts on perpetual harvest. That is how I am able to harvest every month, pull double the overall yields annually. It's a great setup if you can figure it out, but I must have missed something on this. I know all y'all doing perpetual harvest. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Did I miss something? Come on, what's your best tip for perpetual harvest? Let me know in the comments. And if you dug this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this one with another grower you know, and check out the other couple of videos YouTube's recommend, and we think you'll dig them.